Yeah, so hi everyone. Thanks for joining our first ever live series of Bookoholics. And I am Jigna. I am founder of Bookoholics Book Club. And we have our first special guest on our first Bookoholics Facebook Live series is Deevyanka Pawar, founder, director, and CEO of our Journey at Home. So thanks Divyanka for joining and spending time with us and our group.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So just to give you an overview to all of you, she is an educational entrepreneur. She is a phonics trainer, and she is on a mission to simplify early learning and holistic development of child at home. So I will not tell much about it, and you can yourself listen to her. So, Divanka, before we go to your group and please tell us something about yourself.
Definitely, definitely. Hi guys, Divyanka here. So I am the person behind our journey at home, and like if you're not aware of it, it's a platform where we share early learning activities. See, the mission behind creating this platform was to help parents guide their children at home in a fun, hands-on way. Because as it is, the early years are quite stressful as a parent
Yes,
because we have a lot of things going on, right? And
right,
education should not be a factor that is adding to that stress. So I
right.
think the mission behind creating this platform, we have a website, we have a group also. So every platform that we are on is the only purpose that we are on. We have to simplify early learning for parents. So on our page, you can, find simple activities that you can do at home. You don't need a lot of material. You can use whatever materials you have at home and, teach the basic concepts from the early years. So I think early learning journey starts at the age of 2 and it continues up until 6 or 7. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's my mission and that's why we are all here, I think.
Yes, yes, definitely. So thanks for giving us a your lovely introduction. So yeah, coming to that same this that how did your our journey at home start? Like, how was your how that if it was a passion or how did it start?
Right, right. So, see, as the name suggests, it's personally my journey at home with Ridhima. So, I have a 6-year-old. She'll be soon 7 in April. And we started at about, I think she was 18 months, where, I discovered early learning and what exactly it is. And I started reading various articles online and various parenting books. And through that, I, started gaining knowledge that, okay, early learning can be done at home as well. We as parents can actively participate, and we just don't have to depend only on schools
Right.
and what they teach. In fact, as parents, we can take active participation in developing early learning skills at home with our little ones. So I think that's where the journey began. And then in 2016, the later part of the year in 2016, I started the Facebook group that I have. And
Wow.
from there, everything stems. Then we have a YouTube channel. Then we also have an Instagram page. So, we are available on all
Right.
platforms and we promote like simple, fun ways of doing activities at home.
Wow. That's great. That's nice to hear your about your journey. And yeah, now please tell us something about the activities, like how you involve Ridhima and how did you think that other kids can also start that? And like, and what do you suggest? Like, if anyone wants to start their journey, for example, if they are 4 or 5, if it is not too late, even how they can start. So
Mhm.
you can at least start with the activities first, and then we can go to the
Right,
yeah
right.
next question.
So I think if we want to do any kind of activities at home, and here I'm not like generally speaking only about academic activities, but anything that you want to, do with your child becomes an activity.
Right.
If you want to read a book with your child, that is an activity. If you are playing, say, carom with your child indoors,
Yes.
that is an activity, right?
Right.
So any kind of activity, I think it should stem from first observing the child. So
Right.
if let's say that a 3-year-old is very much interested in cutting, okay, and you find him tearing pages of the books, or or any wrapper that he comes around,
Yes.
okay, if
Okay.
he is very much interested in tearing and cutting and crumbling paper or playing with
Mm.
paper, then I think
Right.
the child is giving out the giving out the information that yes, I'm interested in these kind of activities. So maybe you can introduce cutting to the child. And yes,
Right.
even toddlers can use safe scissors, like toddler friendly
Mm.
scissors, and they can start doing those kind of activities. See,
Okay.
the purpose or the intention behind doing activities at home first should be it should be developmentally appropriate for the child at that age. Okay, whatever the age and stage of the
Mhm.
child is, I think the activities that you choose should be developmentally appropriate for the child.
Right.
And second is the interest of the child. If the child is not interested, I think he will not even sit for 5 seconds. He'll
Right.
just run away. Okay. So, and the third is the activity should be age appropriate. What do I mean by that? Like, if it's too easy, again, the child will run away because it's very easy for the child. And if it's too difficult, then the child will get frustrated and again,
Ye-
would not
Yes.
want to do that activity.
Right.
So I think we have to find that balance, and that can only happen if we observe our children and just note down little things that they are doing in throughout the day, and then plan accordingly. Like how can I incorporate the work that I want to give him, but also if he is interested in that work. Okay. So as I said, for cutting, if he's really into tearing pages and cutting objects and things around, breaking those, then I think you can convert that energy into something concrete by
Right.
giving a cutting exercise to the child with proper
Yes.
scissors and craft paper,
Right.
something like that.
Right. So now, when you speak about these activities, anyone would think that all these activities are done in the school. So why to do at home? But now, since we had a pandemic and all of us were at home,
Right.
we were doing both school at home and yeah, work at home.
Work at
But
home.
then, yes. So when you say that when we are doing at home, does that means that teaching something child before it is being taught in the school, or it goes hand in hand?
I
How
think
is it?
it goes hand in hand. And there is a misconception around it that we cannot teach a child anything that is not yet taught in the school.
Okay.
See, the point I want to come across with here is that for a 4-year-old, it's not necessary for that 4-year-old to know the types of clouds because it's not age appropriate, right? So
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that if you understand and if you gain the clarity that what a 4-year-old must know, what a 5-year-old must know, then I think
Right.
teaching at home will only enhance their learning in school. It will
Right.
not hinder their
Okay.
learning. So I think keeping it age appropriate and child led are the two most important takeaways. Like if you take away anything from this video, just take away these 2 points, that we should have it age appropriate and it should be child led. That the child should be interested.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's great. So, my next would be that how would the, if in case our members are interested and they want to um, start their journey, be it a 2-year-old or 3-year-old, where they can find you, or what kind of programs do you run for them, and what all do you do in your like group?
See, my main focus is on English, on maths, and motor skills because these three are, I think, the most important and they are the foundational subjects that I think at the age of 2 to 6, so this age group should focus on these three subjects importantly. And then, yes, you can do STEM activities, science experiments alongside, But I think these three should be the main focus in which you actively teach a child. So
Okay.
we do phonics, we do grammar, we have lots of games for maths. So I think building and understanding language is much more important than
Right.
knowing all the countries' flags or knowing all the continent names, right?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
learn that, of course. If the child is interested, definitely go ahead and teach that to the child.
Yes.
But I think having a good foundation on which we can build our tower is really more important. So in our group, we focus on English and both the aspects. So we focus on phonics, which is learning to read,
Okay.
okay, and grammar, which helps in spellings and vocabulary, in creative writing, okay.
Right.
And for
Yes.
maths, I try to develop simple activities that we can do at home
Okay.
and simple games that just a pen and paper can be used for.
Right.
So I think that those are the main three subjects. And in motor
Okay.
skills, we focus on fine motor and gross motor. Okay, so fine
Okay.
motor is using your um, tiny muscles in your hand to develop that grip for
Writing.
handwriting.
Okay.
And gross motor is using your whole body in different activities,
Okay.
like physical activities.
Yes. Okay. And what are the programs do you run? Do you
Yes,
have any
yes,
programs
we
in
have
your?
a Yeah, we have many programs. So the flagship programs are phonics. So I have an online phonics program
Mhm.
for parents and teachers. So it's a certified program by our institute itself. That is the reading classroom, and we have a grammar one as well, which covers the grammar syllabus for grade 1 to 4. So
Oh,
everything that
wow.
is taught in these 4 grades, we cover it in that program.
Okay.
And then on a monthly basis, I do take different master classes as well. So master class is basically a one-time class on different topics. So
Okay.
I have one coming up in March, which is teaching maths through games. So
Wow.
in that I give about 25 to 30 different games to teach all the maths concepts for the
Wow.
early years,
Okay.
which is for 3 to 6 years
Okay. Wow. That's great. And I think apart from this, you also have few worksheets in
old.
which you share and which is
Yes,
available.
I do
Okay.
have a lot of principles actually. Even I wonder, like in these 4 years, I have developed so much.
It's
So I
great.
have, yeah, I have for as I said, I focus only on these main four
Mhm.
things, which is first is English. In that we have for phonics and for grammar. Second is for maths. So we have different printables for maths as well
Okay.
for different age groups, like 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. And we also have handwriting programs. So we have cursive, print, and Hindi
Okay.
handwriting.
Wow. And I think you run a lot of even live videos and on your
Yeah.
Instagram, and you share the activities of your
Right.
daughter. So how does that go? Yeah. How does you do that? And I mean, how does that happen? Like, is it on
Actually, most
regular
of the time,
basis or it's just impromptu? Yeah.
most of the time impromptu, and regular, I would say that I do a lot behind the
Mhm.
scenes than I share. Because see, what I have realized in these 4 years is that um, now this is a negative point, but I would like to address it here, that parents start comparing with what they see online. Okay, so I don't usually share much of what Ridhima does. Instead, I share ideas and strategies and different techniques that you can use to teach.
Okay.
And what happens is many a times there are messages from other parents, and they tell me that okay, even my child is 4 years old, but she cannot, write number names. Say for
Yes.
example, she
Right.
cannot spell those 1 to 10 number names. And I'm like, see, not everything that you see online is very real. Okay, it does not depend what others are saying
Yes.
and doing. what really matters and we should depend upon is what our child is at the
Right.
stage. Okay, we should start from there.
Right.
I think comparison, as
Yes.
we know the quote, comparison is a thief of joy. So you
Yes.
are, like taking away that joy
Yes.
by comparing with other children.
Yes.
So I think
Right.
that should not happen. So lives and all the videos that I record, I think I share most in stories
Okay.
because that's very quick, like just take a picture or a video and we can share it on Instagram stories. And I'm more active there than in the Facebook right now at the
Okay. So, we would definitely like to see more of your stories. It's quite inspiring.
moment.
Yeah. So, I definitely follow it myself and many of our members. So, we really love to see that more coming, and so that we can do that for our kids as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, before we go to the next question, I think one of our members, Sonali, she has one query, that what is the meaning of holistic learning and why it is necessary?
Holistic learning basically means that you are encouraging each and every skill to be developed, not just focusing on academics. Yes, academics is a part of it, but holistic means developing their emotional intelligence, developing their visual intelligence. There are 8 intelligences, if you know, and I think our education only focuses on the IQ part of it, but we should, have the knowledge of the other 8 intelligence as well. So if you just Google multiple intelligences, you will find those 8 intelligences and what they stand for. So we have linguistic, we have musical, we have physical. So as I said, we have language, maths, logical, critical thinking. Then we have emotional intelligence. We have interdependence. So like how we react in social situations. So
Okay.
I think holistic development is developing all these 8 different intelligences that we already have in ourselves. We just need to promote and take those out from inside us and let them explore. Let the child explore. So if the child is interested in music, I think we should definitely encourage him or her to explore that arena and his
Mm.
intelligence. So I think yeah, we should work on all these 8 intelligences that we have.
Yeah, great to know. Yeah, I mean, this was a question which even I had. Definitely, even though my daughter is 5 years old.
Right.
Yeah, I hope so, na, this answers your question. And so, I know definitely you are into a lot of, not lot of things, but yes, building your group is no, I can say, it's like a big journey for you. But I am sure you would be also reading, into reading and reading books. So, so what kind of books do you like, and which is your favorite genre? So you
Um,
can.
I like murder mystery a lot. So I
Wow.
think if I pick
I
a
was not
fiction,
expecting.
that would be murder mystery only. So Agatha Christie,
Wow.
like one of my favorites.
Okay.
I don't think I have to say
Yes,
anything else.
definitely.
But I also like
Okay.
parenting books once in a while. I like, business related or say personal development related books. I like thrillers. Murder
Wow.
mystery, but is one of my favorites.
Yes. Wow. Wow. I mean, that was definitely I was not expecting. I thought that, but it's good to know. Yes, definitely. So, which is your favorite book in both? Like when you say in parenting and in thriller or this murder
The
mystery?
recent one, I think a month back, I read of Agatha Christie. That was And Then There
Yes.
Were None.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the title. And for parenting, I would say like if you want to go ahead with one book, start with Parenting from the Inside Out.
Okay.
Now I don't remember the author's
Okay.
name. I think it's Daniel Siegel,
Okay.
but the title is Parenting from the
Okay.
Inside Out. It's a beautiful book. Yes.
Wow.
It's more on us as parents than
Okay.
on the actual parenting.
Wow.
So I think, yeah, it would give beautiful insights to you as well.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, I think definitely you can post a pic or a name
Yeah,
again, maybe for
yeah.
the
I'll put it in the comments later.
Yes, definitely. So, which is the book which you feel that you want to read and you have not read, and you just have that, that I should be reading this kind of book once, or I should try reading. Is there something in your wish list?
Actually, it's not a wish list, but sci-fi books I cannot really stand. But I want to complete one book at least to understand what that genre actually is. I cannot
Okay,
even stand those movies. I don't know why, but
okay,
it seems like really far away from what we are like in the real life. So
right.
sci-fi books, if at all, it's not in a wish list, but somewhere down the line, I want to complete at least one book or say one movie for that.
Okay. So which one is that, if I may ask?
Mm, nothing. I don't have anything at the moment.
Okay. Oh, that's great. That's nice to hear. So, um, now coming uh, to the books itself. So we have all like the parents who have elder kids and all. So for the younger kids, the parents with the younger kids. So now for the younger kids, which books do you suggest? For the children's first, what kind of books do you suggest? What kind of books does your daughter reads? And how do you take like reading sessions for her?
See, the main, I think one of the core teachings that I taught her very early on is how to
Okay.
read. Because once you know how to read, you can read anything and everything
Anything.
on in the world, right?
Yes.
Like there's no limit to how much you can read. So I
Yes.
think that was the core thing that I did for her, and I think that will serve her for lifetime. I really hope it does. And
Yes.
so, okay, coming to books, I have a few authors for younger children. And Indian publications, we have Tulika, we have Pratham Books, and then we have Tara Books. So
Okay.
these three, if you want in bilingual or in your regional language,
Okay.
these three would be the first preferences. And then for English authors, I have Julia Donaldson. They are very much popular books. Her books are very much popular. Then we
Right.
have Eric Carle. So if you remember Brown Bear, What Do You See? And The
Yes.
Very Hungry Caterpillar, and of Julia Donaldson, The Monkey Puzzle, The Gruffalo's Child. All of these are very popular, and
Yes.
there's a reason why they are popular because it has very basic storyline, but it has beautiful illustrations that the children can
Yes.
relate, right?
And
So
relate.
yeah, and for a little bit older kids, say 6 to 9 age group. Right now, Ridhima has started reading chapter books, so we are into Sudha
Wow.
Murthy
Wow.
and Roald Dahl. Yeah, so these two are the authors that we are reading right now. So for Roald Dahl, we have this one, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Yes. That's
Matilda,
nice.
and one more was there. The BFG,
Okay.
and there are a couple of books from Sudha Murthy as well. Very simple language, and
Yes.
they are about 100, 220 pages books. But
Right.
yeah, she can finish them in like 2, 3 days.
Wow.
So
Wow. That's great.
yeah,
I mean, I can understand her reading speed. The reading is, I mean, she has taken.
yes, yes. How she has developed a good speed,
Yes.
and understanding is also increasing as much as she reads. So I think
Okay.
what we say about comprehension, it will not just come in your exam papers, and you have to learn for that. I think
Right.
it comes from here. When you
Yeah.
start reading, you understand those words, you understand how those sentences work together,
Yes.
and
Yes.
slowly and gradually, I think your language develops.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah. That's a nice suggestions. Yeah, of course. And now, if any of our members or any one of us wants to try some activities, so how and where do they find you?
I think
And
the first two places would be on YouTube. Every on each and every platform, the name remains the same, which is Our
oh,
Journey at Home. So on
okay.
YouTube, if they just type that out in the search box, they'll get the channel
Okay.
link. And there I upload, the technical details, like how you teach
Okay.
multiplication, how what are the fun ways to practice timetables,
Wow.
right? So different topics based on phonics, grammar, maths, and other
Okay.
early learning skills. So we do that on YouTube. And the second platform would be on Instagram at the moment, and the Facebook group. So in the
Okay.
closed group, we have like three threads running in our community every week. So one
Okay.
is on maths, one is on writing, which is handwriting, and the third one is in phonics.
Oh, wow.
So they can participate there also, and
Okay.
they can also follow us on
Oh,
Instagram.
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, and last but not the least, what do you have to give away our viewers as a parent, as a entrepreneur, or as a uh, what do I say, educator? What is that? Would you like to tell all of us here?
I think the first one would be to just be present. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just be
Right.
present there. So wherever you go 100% there. So if you're spending, say, just 5 minutes with the child, be there for those 5 minutes. Like
Okay.
limit those distractions, put your phone on, airplane mode, and limit those distractions and notifications. Because in today's age, I think we are missing that, like
Right.
fully being present where we are.
Right.
So
Yes.
like if I'm doing this live right now, I'm not thinking about 10 different things. Like okay, after this live, I have to do this, I have to do that. In the evening, I have to do this. Instead, if I'm being here, I am just being here. So likewise, I think for parenting, like that would be my number one tip. Like even if you cannot spend the whole day with the child, I think
Mhm.
if you whatever time you choose to spend, just be there with the child.
Okay. That's great. Yes. And as a educator, when you say that when we are teaching, as a parent, we are teaching, uh, sometimes the attention span, as we already spoke, is very less. So, how do you engage them? Do you have some hints or some clues or something for the members that how do they like if someone is not very interested and it is some kind of clues that how they can start and definitely they will visit your group for more
Right,
interactions.
right.
Yes.
So I think encouraging independent play right from the early years is very important.
Okay.
And how can we do that? We can start with just say 2 minutes or 5 minutes. Like you can distance yourself from
Okay.
them and tell them that this is your 5 minutes and you can choose to do whatever you want. You can choose to play with this toy or that toy, or you can just sit and read if you want that, or whatever they want to do, they can do it. I
Okay.
think encouraging independent play would be really helpful. And about the attention span, uh, this is not for children, it's for parents actually, because the what do we call the expectations that we have are far more. Like a 3-year-old cannot sit for 10 minutes, so
Yes.
it's not possible. So your expectation is wrong actually.
Mm.
The 3-year-old can only sit for 2 to 5 minutes max, not more than
Right.
that. And like if you're expecting that the child would sit down and write 3 pages of do the writing work, and then only we
Definitely.
should get up and go, then that's not going to happen. I think first we should work on our
Right.
expectations of the attention span, and then expect from children. So if the
Yes.
3-year-old can only sit for say 2 minutes, do the activity which will take him only 2 minutes.
Yes.
If it goes beyond that, the child will not show interest, and he will run away. So I
Right.
think it's more important for us as parents to know the about the attention span for the different
Yes.
ages.
Right. And now it's like a, competitive world or kind of a rate race, okay, where all the parents want their children to come first, or do this, do that, all the activities together. So what is your take on that?
I would say that just look back and think about your time, like how you felt when you were a child. Was that like giving you encouragement and motivation to, come first, or achieve that first prize or achieve that medal that you aspired? Was it
Right.
because you wanted to do it, or was it because of some pressure,
Right. Mm.
right? If
Right.
it
Mm.
was
Yes.
from if it was because of some pressure, then I think you know the answer, that you're doing the same mistake again.
Right.
But if it was from your heart that yes, I wanted to come first in, say,
Mm.
maths or in history or in whatever grade that we have, say 10th standard, it should come from heart. Whatever you do should come from your heart, and the same applies for the child as well. Because if the child is really interested, learning will never stop only until 10th grade or 12th grade, right? Even today, as parents, as a working parent, like even Jigna, I think you also will agree to this,
Yes.
that every day we are learning something new, right? Have
Yes.
our learning stopped
No.
anytime? No, we
Not at
have
all.
not,
Yes.
right? So, so I think we should have an open and broad mind and understand that if it's coming from their interest and their heart, that they are passionate about it, then yes, definitely go ahead and encourage them.
Okay.
But don't push them to such a limit that they get frustrated and pressurized, because
Right.
then that turns into a negative thing, and that I don't think would be um, a good connection point for a parent and a child to have in the long
So before I have my one more question, we will just, if any of the viewers have any more queries, please post it in the comments, and we will definitely have Divyanka answer it, or any of them. So uh, we'll just wait for a couple of minutes, and okay, yeah. Um, and yeah, as you say that early age is the base of our, maybe we can say, as a future, and definitely you are doing a great job by bringing this, like educating all the parents who nowadays are, we are so confused with so many things available on Google and everywhere. We not know where to go, right? So definitely the thing which you're doing is just targeting few of the things, which is maths or phonics and reading. It's really a great thing, and I think this will definitely help all the parents and your group and other members. So uh, this is really very great to have this, you're working on something which I think most of the parents will keep them as a treasure, because this is how your child will be able to connect with the parents. And like as you said that they will be just sitting for few minutes and they will be doing, and at least it will be like, okay, he has done something in that span of time, and parents will not pressurize to do please complete all the activities. Yeah, so we have one more question from Amruta. How to develop interest in other languages like Hindi or Marathi?
run. I think you just, any language, if you want to start, you start with speaking. So see, for the language, there is L, S, R, and W. And this is the order that the child learns. Okay. L is for listening, S is for speaking, R is for reading, and at the end, W is for writing. Okay.
Oh,
And now
okay.
just imagine like we have a baby. And what does the baby first do about the language? The baby first listens, okay, what their parents are saying. And then they try to imitate. So they try to speak. After that, slowly and steadily, we teach them how to read, and later comes the writing part.
Okay.
So, for any language that you want to start with the child, I think you start with first listening, like the speaking. So, once you start speaking in that language, the child will listen to those words.
Okay.
Then he will understand, okay, apple ko सेब भी कहा जाता है, and in Marathi, सफरचंद पण म्हणतो आपण, right? So I
Right.
think when the child will understand that okay, apple can be called in these two ways in these two different languages,
Mhm.
then the child will start to imitate that. And the next time that you come across an apple, the child will say it in say Hindi or Marathi, whatever
Marathi.
that you're teaching. So I think go by these four. What do we call the chronological order should be this, that the child should first listen to that language, then the child will start speaking in that language, then comes the reading part, and then the writing part. And I think most parents get confused here. They start with teaching reading and then teaching writing, but that will come very later. If the child understands the language first and then tries to read and write in that language, it will become a very easier transition than like sitting down for 2 hours and इस बच्चे ने हिंदी का एक भी पेज नहीं किया. Like we will not be able to hear those compliments,
Right.
like the complaints. Sorry, not compliments, complaints.
Complaints.
So I think yeah, if we start actively engaging with the child with listening and speaking, the child will pick up the language very fast. And then slowly you can introduce letters for that language, and reading and writing comes later.
Okay. So thanks, Divyanka. And we have one more on the similar line, that any tips on developing interest in different language?
Jigna, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think it's breaking. Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
yeah, yeah. It was frozen for a moment.
Yes. Yeah. So Vidula says that any tips on developing interest in different languages?
I think, see, developing interest will only happen and if the parent is interested in that language, right? So at home with Ridhima, we don't only speak in English, we speak Hindi as well, we speak Marathi as well. See, I am from Pune, I'm from Maharashtra, so Marathi is our mother tongue, right?
Mother language.
So that is the first language that was introduced to her. And the interest will only develop if the parent is interested in that. If you're just going to study that language, like when you pick out the textbook and sit down for studies, then I think that is not developing interest. It is just mugging up the language.
Right.
And if
Right.
you really want to develop interest in different languages, you can just start with listening. Say you can listen to songs. It doesn't even have to be anything related to academics. You can listen
Okay.
to songs in that language. You can listen to rhymes, different rhymes in that language, or start with stories as well. On YouTube, I think you will find plethora of stories and songs and rhymes in whichever language that you choose. And from there, slowly and steadily, you can start the journey, start speaking at home, and then very, very later will come the reading and writing part. So I think developing interest depends completely on the parent.
Okay. Yeah, that's great tip. Thanks, Divyanka. Thanks, Vidula. I hope this answers your question. So yeah, one of our member has WhatsApp me, and she has asked me regarding the increased of the screen time nowadays due to the pandemic, and even the parents and the if we have elders who are busy, and many of them are glued on TV, or if we are busy, we just hand it, just okay चलो थोड़ी देर देख ले, टैब देख ले, या and with even the increased screen time due to the online classes. So how do you think parents can tackle this situation?
I think it's like the saying, like what monkey sees, the monkey will do, right? So if the monkey is seeing you all on the screen, he will want the screen, no matter like how much discipline you want to get in there. That will not happen. So I think if you try to reduce, like apart from work, like if the child knows that okay, 10 to 6 is mama's work time, and she can only take a break for lunch and 10-15 minutes here and there, then that is okay. The child is already knowing about that schedule,
Okay.
right? So if but after 6 o'clock, and say after your day is over, you are sitting on sofa and scrolling through Instagram,
Uh,
or just scrolling through different Facebook profiles, and okay, I'll just check for 15 minutes and the whole hour is gone by. Okay, so if you are in that situation, I think the child will also want to do that. So I
Okay.
think first the monkey will have to improve, then the little baby monkey will improve, right? So I think, frankly speaking, that's what happens with the child as well. If the child is seeing you interested in cooking, the child will
Mm.
want to come to the kitchen and start. Okay, he will first observe what you're doing. Are you cutting? Okay, what? How do you cut an apple? You cut it with a knife. You take a chopping board. So all these different things and elements that require for cutting an apple, the child will
Yes.
observe. Similarly, for the screen time, the child is completely observing. No matter,
Yes.
even if he's like glued to a screen, still he will observe what the mother or the father is doing. Whoever is
Mm.
present at home, okay, whoever is the caregiver. All right. So they will try to imitate, no matter how much you explain that screens are bad, don't do this, don't do that. But we cannot deny the fact that digital is the next era,
Yes.
right? So they are going to be facing so many things
Yes.
digitally here on earth. And I think the only thing as a parent we can do is be mindful of how you spend your time so that the children will also automatically learn how to be mindful of using screens. Okay, now
Right.
Ridhima, to be to give you an example, she will
Mm.
not ask for screens unless we have something planned for it. Okay, so we have a movie day on Sundays. So she knows that yes, when Sunday comes, we are going to spend those 3 hours, 2 hours to watch a
On
movie.
mo-
So we have
yes.
that inculcated in our routine. So she
Mm.
knows that okay, I cannot ask for movie on Saturday or a Friday because
Yes.
otherwise the answer will be no, right?
Okay.
So setting up those time limits and setting up that schedule in your daily life or say weekly, whatever way you plan, I think that would also help. And the major tip would be to be mindful of how you are spending time. Like if you
Right.
do that, the children will automatically pick it up.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I think that's it. We have no more questions. But if anyone has any more questions, you can definitely post it in the comments after even the video is, and Divyanka will make sure if she can answer
Yes,
it.
yes.
So thanks a lot, Divyanka,
Thank you,
and
Jiva,
thanks a lot for coming on
for having me
Bookoholics. Yes, definitely. And thanks to giving us a lot of education. And I think, yeah, most of us are going to rush and try to have uh, some of the practical tips. So, thanks a lot. And I hope we see you more here on Bookaholics and give
here.
your some more suggestions on your reading apart from parenting.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, we have one more question from Amruta. Will abacus or other classes are useful? Yeah.
Mm, the answer is yes and no. See, if you're going to put the child into that class because your neighbor's child is going, then the answer is no, it's not helpful. But if you are putting the child to, learn different techniques and strategies, see all these different academically related classes like Vedic maths, abacus, and we have for science as well. So all these things teach you different strategies. You know what addition is, you know what subtraction is, what multiplication is, right? These different classes will teach you how to do it quicker or different ways of doing multiplication, right?
Right.
So it's nothing like very unique or very different that the child does not know in the school or in the curriculum, but there are different techniques that are used or different strategies that are used to solve the same sum. So I think the answer would be yes if you want the child to, become good at it, or you want the child to explore all the different options of learning and solving the same sum. But if the plan is that my neighbor's child is going or my sister-in-law's daughter is going, then no, don't put
Okay.
it. It would be an added pressure for
Okay.
you and your child as well. So I think, yeah, that should be enough for that.
Okay, fine. So thanks a lot, Divyanka. We will end our live session
Yes,
here,
yes.
and thanks a lot for having joining our live session. So we'll
Thank
have
you,
some more
Jimna.
sessions after a couple of months. Yes.
Definitely.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.